Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website mexiconewsnetwork.com for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. Yucatan State Transport Director Humberto Evia Jimenez declared that Uber is a pirate transport service in Mérida, and as a result of that, police will continue arresting Uber drivers. As the multinational platform works outside the law, the works of detection, detention, and confiscation of vehicles will continue, he added. In order to clamp down on the huge Uber network, Jimenez's department is working around the clock to detect vehicles that give a service of transport without the corresponding concession. Checkpoints have been set up around the city of Mérida to detain Uber operators, confiscate their vehicles, and since the passage of the Transportation Act reform, he said, they've stopped more than 780 vehicles working for Uber. They've returned about 200, but there are repeat offenders. In Mexico, Uber operates on a state-by-state basis. In Quintana Roo, the conventional taxi drivers union warned that they'll remove Uber from the entity. Meanwhile, in Puerto Vallarta, despite the resistance of the taxi drivers, the unions, the PRI, and the governor, Uber could soon become a reality there. In other news, the shares of Tesla, the company led by Elon Musk, ranked as the fourth most important valuable automaker, only behind Toyota, Daimler, and Volkswagen. Shares of the electrical vehicle maker rose 1.4% last week, increasing its market capitalization by $61.6 billion, about $400 million more than BMW. Musk generated more enthusiasm for the shares this week by reaffirming that the Model 3 sedan, Tesla's most economical vehicle, will begin production on time in July and will be followed by a cheaper crossover that it expects will end up attracting more demand. That vehicle, called Model Y, is scheduled to hit the market in late 2019 and will need its own assembly plant, the top executive said at the company's annual meeting on Tuesday. Tesla surpassed US rivals General Motors and Ford Motor in April for market capitalization, a change in the rating the nation's largest auto dealer said was inexplicable. The company delivered less than 80,000 vehicles last year and has only reported 2 profitable quarters in its short history. GM, by comparison, sold more than 10 million vehicles and expects to make more than $9 billion this year. In other headlines, the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, UNAM, and Tecnológico de Monterrey are among the best 959 universities in the world, according to Quacquarelli Simmons, a leading authority on ranking universities. UNAM, which is a large coeducational higher education institution with an enrollment capacity of over 45,000 students, climbed 6 places, going from 128th place to 22nd, while Tec de Monterrey raised 7 places from 206 to 199. Among universities in Latin America, UNAM ranks 3rd, only under the University of Buenos Aires and the University of Sao Paulo. The Monterrey Tech was placed in 7th place. Other Mexican institutions that have climbed the rankings include the Universidad Iberoamericana and Universidad Anáhuac, have risen from the 651 to 700 gap to 601 to 700, while the National Polytechnic Institute has climbed from the 701 to 750 range. For the 6th year running, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, leads the way as the world's best university. If you're offered a place at MIT, annual tuition fees will cost you just over $48,000. Meanwhile, the British University of Cambridge is ranked the top university in Europe and 4th place overall. And finally, let's take a look at the markets. The Mexican peso increased 0.72% to 18.04 from 17.91 in the previous trading session. IPC Mexico increased 0.54% to 49,291 from 49,027 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time,